Welcome to another $4 million strategy, the best 4 minutes in business. Really excited today to have with us Trent Gillespie, CEO, Stellus AI. Trent, today we're talking about product innovation. What are some best practices that you can tell the entrepreneurs out there what they should do to get things moving in the right direction?
All right, I'll tell you 3 tips for today. Now, I spent a bunch of time at Amazon, and one of the key things at Amazon that every entrepreneur can learn from is putting the customer first. And so Jeff Bezos has talked quite a bit about this, and he said, don't obsess over your customers and what they're doing. Focus on your customer. And so what you can do is very clearly go out and talk to your customers. Go and find out how they're using your products, they want to use your products, and then figure out how you can build new services to support them in whatever their pains are. That's number one. Now, number two, look into the jobs to be done innovation theory. It's one that I just love because it helps you identify specifically why customers might be interested in buying whatever your product is. That's what the job is. What job is to be done is why they will pay you. And so you can figure out what that is, then you have a much easier time selling whatever your product or service is to them. And then number 3 is figure out AI. Now, that is the best source and easiest way to use to innovate today. It's something that brings the best innovation capabilities within reach of any entrepreneur, from coming up with ideas and brainstorming to how you can actually use it to create new software and products and services to how you market them in the field. It gives every entrepreneur a huge leg up.
Those are outstanding insights. I'm curious of those 3, what's the most important?
I think the first one is the most important for sure. You got to stay focused on your customer. Whatever it is that they think is most interesting, what they'll pay you for, that's what to focus on for sure.
Okay, so for somebody who perhaps hasn't done that beforehand, and I recall reading the stories, right, of the empty chair, right, when you're doing planning and innovation, and you're always trying to think that customer first. That was a great tactic, if you may, right, a great little tip to help out people who are thinking that. What are some other things that you can recommend to people of like making sure that they are? You mentioned doing interviews, talking with your clients. What are some other things that could be done that's going to really help make sure you're capturing to build a product or service that they're going to really want?
Well, one of the things we did at Amazon a lot was called ride-alongs. And so it wasn't necessarily only in delivery, but in many different ways. You would actually go out with your customers to see how they're using your product every single day. And so when you're able to do that, then you're able to actually see what the pains are, where the friction is, where there's problems occurring. Maybe they're using it in entirely different ways than what you expected. And so getting out into the field and actually seeing that use in person is hugely, hugely valuable.
I love that concept of the ride along, right? That it is so fascinating. And it's interesting, even in our own business, how many times we don't put ourselves in our own shoes to see how product or services, the things that we're actually delivering our own, not being aware of it, because it's so easy, right, to get caught up in quote unquote strategy, right, and be involved in management, but we don't actually have the real insights. And these are things that Toyota Way has taught us years ago, right, or management by walking around. These are not new ideas, but it's amazing how many times people still don't do it today. Trent, these were absolutely great insights on how to have better innovation at your company. Thanks so much for being here today.
Happy to be here.